Hi, my name is Jason Leach, and I'm coming from my garage today showing another one of the little projects we're doing here. Today we're making cutting boards for Christmas. It's something that's really easy, stuff that you can do, most people can do with the stuff they have in their garage. And it makes for great little gifts. People love them, they're handy, and they just make for good gifts. So I'm going to walk through the process. I am making some more cutting boards right now, and I got them in all the various stages pretty much from start to finish, and we'll just walk through the process and show you how we did it. So the first thing we did is we went to the lumberyard, anywhere's Mars, anything like that, and go find the select woods, those stuff that's normally wrapped up in plastic and stuff that's a little more protected, and then go get a bunch of the hardwoods. So like this is most of the time they come in 1x4s, 1x6s. I get 6-footers. They're just easier to handle when you're doing little projects like this. But you can get the 8-footers and cut them down too, or whatever. And get them in the different species of hardwood. So we had some oak here, maple. If you look, most cutting boards are actually made out of maple in the stores. Actually, a lot of them are made out of just pine, and pine's one of the softer woods you can get. So any wood that's better than pine is fine for these boards. So we have oak here, and we have maple. We did get some mahoganies. I got like the dark colors in it. This is a piece of alder. And you get these boards, and then you're just going to strip them up. So you can't really get them into strips. But we'll just strip them up with the table saw. So over with the table saw, we'll cut them. And when you get these boards, they're all 1x4s, so they're 3/4 inches wide. So it works out pretty well. And we'll just cut them 3/4 inches wide off the board. So they're just going to be kind of a square, 3/4 by 3/4. So you go to your table saw, set it to 3/4, and then you'll just stick the main board in here, and you'll just start ripping them. You're ripping them through, and you get a whole bunch of pieces like this. I cut them into 3-foot. I got 6-footers. I cut them in half just to make them really easy to handle. So I have 3-footers here. So you cut all kinds of different colors because it's nice to make an order. And actually, so some of the other cutting boards I have, I've actually cut like even thinner strips just to get some more detail in it. But you got to watch out because the key to making these cutting boards really nice is the finished edge. So most of us don't have the real fancy sanders and the real fancy, they've got these big table sanders and stuff that are making all these flat edges that you can see when you buy your wood. They got a beautiful, nice flat edge, right? A lot of us can't make that. And they have nice sanders, but then you got to make it uniform so you don't have any kind of ripples or dents and everything in it. That's stuff that you can't see with the naked eye. But when you start squishing these people's pieces together, you can see all those imperfections. So the key to taking normal tools in your garage and making cutting boards is utilizing the sanded edge. Another reason why you want the nice prime boards and stuff is because they come with a really nice sanded edge. So you get all these little 3/4 inches and you get the nice sanded edges here. The goal is we're going to put all those nice sanded edges together. When you put them together, you get a seam that you can't see through, like water and everything can't leak through. If you put them with the rough edges, actually these cut pretty good, but you'll get some like here, you'll get some of the gaps aren't perfect. You'll get some cracks in the gaps, and that's where stuff, water, crap can get into, and then wreck your cutting boards, make them gross and all that. So the real key is to put the edges together. And that's how like normal people like us, the normal tools, can make nice cutting boards. Now you're going to take anywhere between, a lot of them I have 8 to 9 pieces in the cutting boards, and you're going to put them together. Okay, so you're going to make some kind of design out of them. You can see I got a couple over here making the design already. This is actually 2 cutting boards I have the oak here, and so what I did is I kind of made a racing stripe with the white and the dark mahogany here, and then the oak is one, and then I have another cutting board. So I just clamped them both together because I don't have a billion clamps laying around, so I'm trying to do this in groups here. And then I got the mahogany one over here with a stripe down the center here too. So I did a couple with the stripe over here. If we go back over here, I have another one with a different pattern. And so this one I just put a nice clear one in the center and then kind of stagger these on the other sides. So keeping all those finished edges together, you can get a nice piece board that everything's all tight, the joints are going to be all tight there, and it's going to look nice. All right. So you got these little pieces, all in pieces. We need to glue them together. A couple different glues. I find that these are really good glues too because they glue quick and fast. I'll still let this sit overnight, but they contact quick, so if you kind of goof up a little, you can fix it right away. Or you can't fix it fast because they contact quick, so that if your clamp falls off, they don't come apart. But they really keep tight joints. You can go get them in the glue areas. This is actually a waterproof glue. I got this on the second set of cutting boards, thinking that it would be better. I've used this for most of my cutting boards. I have had none of them ever come apart. No water issues, everything. I don't put these through the dishwasher, so maybe if you're doing more of that, I think you'd have more issues than just the glue anyways. So either one of these glues will work really well. You'll take them, and then you'll put all these on edge so that the finished edges are up. Because the goal is we're going to put them together, so we just kind of flip them all so the finished edges are up. You see that? Okay, and then we will take the glue. I'm not going to do this here because I don't get any clamps. I'm not ready for this yet. But just put the glue on. Spread it with your finger. Get all just a nice thin coat of glue on here. When you get them all together, you'll flip them back over so the glued edges are facing each other. Stick them together. Put some clamps on this. Let this sit overnight. Okay? So, that's what we've done here. We've got a couple of these here. We threw some clamps on it. And we're letting them now sit overnight. Okay? So we'll let those go. Now this one is just sat overnight. When it's done, you got a board. Obviously, that's longer than the normal cutting board's going to be, but that's okay. After we get it like this, we're going to want to throw it through a planer. I have the very first couple of cutting boards. I've taken my hand Orbital DeWalt sander, and great little sander, but it will take you a while to get through all this. But I did because I didn't have anything else, because I just got a normal garage like normal people, most people. So the next year that I made cutting boards and stuff, I had a coworker that had a planer, and just a nice box planer, and he threw them through there, and that was awesome. So I've got myself a box planer now and do it. So you can get the box planers anywhere from, heck, they're a couple $100 to $1,000. You know, good, bad, depends on how much you're going to use them. I don't use mine tons, so I don't have the best one out there. I just got a normal one, and it's fine. I have to do a light sanding after I'm done. But I can get all the, you can see the ridges and everything because my table saw, you know, not like most, don't cut perfectly every single time. So you're going to have some ridges in here. So you're going to want a planer to plane these off and get them nice and smooth. After we get planed off and nice and smooth, then we'll go over to our chop saw and then cut them into shape. So these are roughly about 6.5 inches wide, which is the width of the boards that we're making. So we're trying to make them that width so we don't have to worry about that part. And then we're hacking them off. The bigger boards, this is actually the bigger ones I make. They're about 11.5 inches. And then the smaller ones will be, this is 6.5, so they'll be down to about 6. And then I make them about 9 inches. Just like little cheese cutting boards and stuff. But I'll just take this over to our chop saw and I'll just, you know, just kind of hack them off, you know, in my lengths. After I get them hacked off in my lengths, that's where I'll take I'll go over to my router table, which over here I got my stand-up router. So sometimes I'll clamp them down and I'll just use a router and then I'll round the edges. Or if you have a router table, you can make that a little easier. And then we'll just round off the edges. So I just got a simple bit and I just rounds off all the edges here. After doing that, I'll grab my sander, my little Orbital sander. I think I got that around here somewhere. Grab my Orbital sander right here. And then I'll just put a nice fine, you know, 300 or something better or something like sandpaper on it, and just sand the whole thing down. Get it to a nice sanding finish, okay? And nice and smooth, round the corners off, anywhere that the router or something like that might have done something, and just kind of finish things up. Maybe an imperfection or two I'll try to take out, and it'll just clean things up. After that, I always like to add a little detail. So as you can see with my wood burner, which I'm not the best at wood burning yet, but I like to practice and have some fun. I've been doing a little design in the corners of all my cutting boards that I've been making. So after you get them to this point, you don't want to stain them or something like that and put urethane or anything like that because that gets into your food and that's not good. So there are some biodegradable, edible, whatever kind of like stain things out there. You know, what I found was actually just the easiest is just using mineral oil. And it lasts 6-8 months, and then just mineral oil again. You know, it's just really simple. Before you do that, you're gonna want to make sure you get all the sawdust if you can, but now again, we don't want to use mineral spirits or something like that. So I just take a wet rag. Just take a wet rag and just kind of clean them off, brush them off, really good. Let them air dry for, you know, a couple hours until they get dry. Brush them off really good again with like a wet rag, just to try to get all the sawdust stuff as possible. And then let them dry overnight. You want to get them good, bone and dry. You don't want any moisture in there because we want it to suck up all the oil that it can. So you can just go get, let's just equate Walmart mineral oil, and soak them in the mineral oil. And so just lather it on, get it nice, you know, keep it uniform, but lather it all on and everything, and set it somewhere, let them dry. I do 2 coats at least on mine. And then 6, 8, 9 months they'll go, and then I'll do it again. It's like this one's starting to get a little dry, had it for almost a year. And so I'll do another coat again, they'll lighten it back up. And that just kind of helps protect the woods, because as the oils get out, as you hand wash them, clean them up every time, it just takes a bit off every time. And so eventually the oils get out, then your woods start getting damaged a little bit because they don't have their protection anymore with the oil and keeping stuff out of the wood. So I'll just re-oil them again, and they'll be good for a while. But that's how you make some nice little cutting boards. I tell you can do these really cheap, easy little gifts, and stuff that you can do with just your normal stuff in your garage, normal table saws, chop saws, having hand sanders. You don't need the fancy stuff. The planer is probably one thing some people probably don't have that. I tell you what, you don't need it, but it adds a lot of extra help there. Definitely a recommended thing. So that'd be one of the few things that you don't have to pick up if you really want to do these on a every year scale like we do, because I always find people that love them. They make great little gifts, home warming gifts, anything like that. So that's the story of the little cutting boards that you can make in your garage. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll try to get something posted on my blog, Home Invention Creations. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.